guys, we made it to Wednesday, and nobody has ever wanted to make it to a Wednesday more than me right now, currently. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crescent Lake Cup Live. It is Wind Down Wednesday, and I'm here with Courtney, Nola Disney Mama, and we are kind of celebrating St. Patrick's. This is the only green I could find. Yes, it's technically teal, but we'll just believe it's green. So I don't get the only other green I could find was like a half marathon shirt with Donald Duck on it. So I know Teets would like that, but I wasn't feeling that today. How have you been, Courtney?
I've been good. I am celebrating or remembering 1 year of quarantine. I'm still doing my dry Lent, so I have my LaCroix in a wine glass, which is all I did during quarantine since I was pregnant. So I thought I'd bring that back for St. Patrick's Day. I was trying to look for some fun non-alcoholic cocktail to make, but yeah. Keely's same as last week. But,
I tried. I was good for a couple
I know,
weeks.
you
there,
were. You were. You're going through some stressful stuff, though.
I will say, you know what? We should try and do this new fad diet that's called the moving stress diet, because just on a whim, I got on the scale today. And the last time I got on the scale was when I got to this house 2 weeks ago Friday, and I'm down 7.5 pounds.
What?
So there is something to moving stress. So let's make this the next diet fad, which is basically putting stuff into boxes, lifting up the boxes, throwing things into the landfill, shoving things into the back of your Jeep, or carrying things out to the curb. Noticing it's basically a lot of like free weights.
Right.
So
all while subsisting on a diet of Whataburger and Tito's.
Of Whataburger breakfast and Tito's. And don't you worry, I am bringing back plenty of this.
Nice.
I put in my Central Market order for 3 cases of it to go pick up tomorrow. So I hope that lasts me until April, because I've been going through like 6 packs of it like crazy. But in case you guys didn't know, this is the official soda of Crescent Lake Club. It is Blue Sky Organic Cane Sugar Black Cherry Soda. You can find it on tap at Baseline Tap House. I like to drink it with Tito's. It's my favorite Hollywood Studios drink. I feel like 110 calories for 1 can is probably not good for you.
But you've been drinking that in Tito's and still lost 7 pounds, so
there's something that they say that, that vodka is like a health drink. Don't let my mother. Oh no, my mom drinks Tito's too, so she'd probably agree. So
I'll stick with the red wine and look forward to back to some wine on Wind Down Wednesday.
You are so close. You are so close. Yeah. So, programming note: this is our last episode for our. Oh, hello, Nexium 86. We want to see if you want to talk Iron Man 2 with Teets on Marvel Monday, so I don't have to suffer through more pepper pots. Just hit me in the chat on that one. This is our last show for our spring break hiatus. All of us have got a lot going on. I told Teets he could host shows, and if you guys follow us on Twitch or subscribe to us on YouTube, you've seen a lot of our quality content, and I think it would be a lot of Teach just staring at the camera, blinking and shaking his head. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna work on some great content to have for you guys when we come back a week from Sunday. So there's no Marvel Monday, or there's no Crescent Lake Club Live Sunday Funday. There's no Marvel Monday, and there will be no Wind Down Wednesday next week. But that's good. We've actually got a lot of things to talk about tonight.
We do.
Bright and early. So earlier last week, we kind of got the news from the state of California that, given how their pandemic situation is going, and vaccinations and hospitalizations and things like that, that it looked very possible that Disneyland and all the other major theme parks, that also includes Universal Hollywood, Knott's Berry Farm, and all of that, would be able to open at some point in April. Like they were, I think it was optimistic, like soon as like the second week of April. And Disneyland at the time just put out a statement and said they're really excited. They're going to be releasing details forthcoming on when they plan to open, because I believe next weekend is the first weekend of the Touch of Disney like tasting event there. So that runs through April 19th. Well, today we got an official date. We heard rumored dates last week when we all talked, and it looks like those rumors are true. And Disneyland will be opening on the
30th, April 30th.
So April 30th. And actually the Grand Californian Hotel will be opening along with the parks. And I think the DVC Villas, which we already heard announced would be opening, or opening what, a day later?
A day earlier on the 29th.
A day earlier on the 29th.
Yep.
And so we haven't heard anything about Disneyland Hotel or Paradise Pier Hotel, but if it looks like those rumor dates we heard hold true, we'll probably see Disneyland Hotel and Paradise Pier Hotel open up like second or third week of May. So about 3 weeks behind the parks in Grand Californian themselves.
And sorry, Grand Californian is on the 29th. DVC is on the 2nd. You were right. I just misunderstood you, I think. So yeah, the hotel the day before, so you can fly in. If you're waiting for DVC, you have to wait 2 days after the park opens. But
yeah, and so I think that's largely because just the covenants of DVC said that's when they were opening up for bookings, and because now you're within. We don't have Woody with us, and she would be the great one to break all this down because she's a DVC owner. But I think they were trying to give the Grand Californian owners enough of advance notice where they could book ownership points there, and then to go ahead and slap on a couple of days where they might not be able to, and people who say own it like Key West or anything like that could jump in.
Yeah.
One of the big things, and nobody's really talking about this. I know when we first heard that all of it was coming down, so many Walt Disney World bloggers and vloggers are super excited. But one of the restrictions is not just that it's going to be the parks are only at 15% capacity. It's that it is, and this comes from the state, not from Disney. They're only allowed to open to regional guests. Now, I know the initial version of the provision said when they first started talking about this at the end of last year, it was only like residents within 60 or 75 miles of Anaheim would be able to go to Disney or Disneyland. So I think they've changed it and just said only California. Residents. But that is still a huge deal. And on top of all of that, nobody has annual passes anymore. They wiped out all the SoCal passes, all the Flex passes. I got my refund for my Disneyland Flex Pass. So it is going to be crazy interesting to see the ticket structure, pricing.
Wow. Right. And they're implementing a park pass system as well. So they will know, they'll know exactly who's going to be in the park. And Disney World does to an extent because they have the park pass system. But like we were just talking before we went live, as an annual pass holder, we can make reservations, cancel on day before, whatever. There's a little bit more flexibility when there's annual pass holders. If you have to spend hard-earned money or stimulus money on a ticket,
that stimmy that
or
just
your stimmy money on a ticket, and then make a park reservation, chances are you're going hell or high water. At least I would if I'm spending. Not that I don't spend money on my annual pass, but you know what I mean. There's a ticket attached to it. So
yeah, and so the park reservation system is not at all foreign to Disneyland, because the last iteration of annual pass that they did was called the Flex Pass, and that's the one I had, and it was significantly cheaper I'm not eligible for a SoCal pass because I don't live in California. But for someone that just goes a couple times a year, or could make 2 long weekend trips to Disneyland, it was actually really cost effective. And the only thing was I had to make reservations for certain parks in advance, including park hopping, and I could only hold like 3 total days within a 30-day window. And for me, that's not a big deal because I love California Adventure. So if I can't get both parks, if I could only get California Adventure for one day, that's totally fine by me. That's the park I wanted to be at. And so I think that's what enabled Disney on the East Coast to really jump in and take a hold of the system and the planning involved with their park reservation system, is because it was something that was already in place with FlexPass out at Disneyland.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we're going to go 0 to 60 pretty quick at Disneyland, because I'm just double checking the Touch of Disney starts tomorrow. Starts March 18th. So starting tomorrow,
so
there'll be people.
So maybe Marcus is going on the 28th.
Gotcha.
So I knew he waited in line. He waited online for like 6 hours to get tickets. So I think maybe he's going on the 28th. So we'll have a live report from that.
Yeah. So tomorrow people can go back in the park for the first time, and then that'll happen for about a month. And then 10 days later, we have the park officially opening.
Yeah. And
that's pretty exciting.
That's super exciting. And the really great thing of all of it was when they released the just sheer number of employees. Like, they've been slowly calling them back to work, some of these shopping events, and then for Touch of Disney. But just, they're saying in the first wave, it was something like over 10,000 employees that they were calling back from furlough, and they have to do testing and retraining. And there's obviously a lot of QC, especially on the rides and stuff, and maybe little touch-up things and different things that they can do to get the parks. Because right now, we're able to go, or if you've been to Disneyland, all you've been able to see is basically Buena Vista Street over at California Adventure. And so, like, nobody is seeing the inside of Disneyland proper, or really see much of what's going on. And that's kind of why it was a little bit surprising to us that they dropped one tidbit of news, is that a favorite iconic, I put it in my top 3 Walt Disney World attractions list, got a little bit of a glow up too, or is in the process of getting a glow up at Disneyland. We know it just got plussed during the Diamond Celebration, and that's when they added the Hatbox Ghost. And it also features the cutest Nightmare Before Christmas overlay in the fall. But we heard today that Haunted Mansion at Disneyland is getting some new special effects. So that's exciting.
Yes, it's a favorite of mine, and I can't wait to one day ride it in Disneyland. And I really want to see the overlay.
It's the only building in New Orleans Square that looks remotely New Orleans. It really it looks a lot like the American Horror Story house, to be honest. But it's the only thing, the big columns. It's like it's a Gothic revival or a Greek revival kind of mixed together, but it has a lot of, and like the gardens and everything. It's something very Garden District for sure. Yeah. So it's, to me, this is the one thing I'm so excited I have to go to Disneyland with you, because as a lifelong New Orleanian, I need your take on New Orleans Square.
On New Orleans Square, yeah. I know. I've heard, I don't know. I need to go. I want to go. I want to see it. But I've heard people speak highly of it. Speak that it's
really pretty.
Yeah.
I prefer it to Liberty Square, I think. Mm-hmm. The vibe is there. The music is there. The food is interesting. The architecture, they're really trying. Pirates of the Caribbean is cool because it goes through Blue Bayou, which is their high-end Cajun Creole restaurant.
Right.
Fine. I mean, I'm not going to eat gumbo or jambalaya there.
But isn't that where you get the famous Monte Cristo?
So you can get 2 Monte Cristos. There, Cafe Orleans has one that is a 3-cheese Monte Cristo, but the one inside Blue Bayou has meat on it. So,
but
I was on ready to go at 8, but then gave up. So now I'm back. Okay. What are you talking about? Teats.
So I will say the only time that I've ever had a Monte Cristo sandwich in New Orleans, and I'm sure you can buy them at other places, but we used to have a Bennigan's before Bennigan's.
Which is perfect for St. Patrick's Day slancha.
Right. But Bennigan's is not in New Orleans. It's a chain. That's the only place I've had ever had a Monte Cristo. Again, I'm sure there's other places in New Orleans that you could buy it. But that's certainly not a typical New Orleans fare. But I know that people rave about it, and that's one of the things coming to A Touch of Disney that people are excited about. So and don't get me wrong, I will take a fried sandwich. I'll take anything.
Like who doesn't want a deep fried grilled cheese? A deep fried grilled cheese with jam that you dip it in, and then fries powdered with aioli. Yeah. Right. So it's like a grilled cheese and a beignet had a baby, and
I'm sure it's delicious, but
they also try to sell their non-alcoholic drink as a mint julep. And I'm like, I think you guys are a little confused, just a tiny bit confused about. Again, I don't associate mint juleps with New Orleans or Louisiana at all. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, these are reasons I cannot wait for the Crescent Lake Club to take a trip to Disneyland. It's going to be so much fun.
So you can hear me rail on it, like Universal Studios extending Mardi Gras till December, basically.
Well, so I have some news for you, and I promise that I super hope that our friendship will overcome and withstand what I'm about to tell you. Oh, I'm taking all of my Mardi Gras attire, my mermaid sequin jackets. I'm gonna take all of my Muse's light up necklaces, my flapper headband, my boa, my fanny pack, my sidewalk side T-shirt. I'm wearing.
The only thing I'll say is, at least you will be out of Lent. That you're going after Easter. Yeah.
But I will not eat at the New Orleans booth. I will not have the king cake. I will not do any of that. I'm going to show these people what you're supposed to do. Their song is feet. Oh, whatever. I'm showing them what you wear for Mardi Gras, and it's not what they think they wear. You wear what we've got.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can get, I bet Rouse's still has them. The purple, green, and gold polo shirts. I should grab those for Angela and Leslie.
Yeah.
Because that's what you wear. But yes, I will be going. We already talked about it. I'm kind of excited just to see it. I want to see what they do, like their own knockoff floats. So they already do a knockoff of Baca Gator. So I want to see these actual floats in person. I haven't been to Mardi Gras at Universal in at least 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So I want to see it. But on the flip side, this is going to touch on something that Courtney and I are going to talk about in a little bit. The parks are going to be crowded. Like COVID era crowded to pushing it is a pandemic still going on crowded. And like I was talking to Angela earlier today, it's like, I'm actually a little bit glad that Universal extended Mardi Gras through our first day there, because I'm going to do the $65 annual pass holder tasting lanyard. And the three of us are just going to walk around and just take time to try food and just look at the architecture, because I think Teets can probably tell you in the chat when the 4 of us went to Universal, and it was a first time for everybody except for me. We like really went gangbusters, just powered through because no one was there. We're like, we're trying to get to every single thing we can do between 2 parks in, 1 park day.
Right.
So it'll be nice to kind of slow down, still go on Hagrid's. Just kind of take it in, enjoy. They can see more of like Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, more of the Simpsons stuff, and just take in everything that the whole ambiance has to offer. So we're excited about that. But I'm gonna wear all my sequins. It's gonna be like 86, so I'm gonna lose 4 pounds just in this mermaid sequin lined bomber jacket. But I only wore it in my car to drive up to Broadmoor this year to drop some cups off at my friend's house. I'm gonna bring all my face glitter.
just don't show me pictures. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say, oh no, this is from me at Mardi Gras like 6 years ago.
Gotcha. Okay. Whatever you have to do.
I won't send you pictures. What if I'm in front of it wearing all my stuff but going like this?
Sure.
But anyway, so I like that they extended the food festival. They probably could pull the floats and stuff away, but they need it out there because it's also doing like entertainment, and people seem to like it. And I think it's also giving them a way to really test stuff for Halloween Horror Nights in the fall too, and how they can do crowd control and stuff like. Teets is gonna send you photos instead. Teets, you're gonna be at football, and it's gonna be.
I was gonna say you're not even gonna be there yet either.
Teets, I will send you pictures of me on Velocicoaster. So there you go. So back to Disneyland, though. We did get a couple of ride updates. So we know for a fact that Avengers Campus will not be opening. At least they came out and straight out said it, and dragging along Ratatouille at Walt Disney World. They're like, no,
they didn't give a date, but they said it's not
opening. Yeah, it's not April 30th. I don't think they're going to wait for that bad boy until October 1st. I think like July 4th, right around then, may be a better indicator of what we see. Well, once they can get some of the data on the tickets and traffic and stuff.
Or do you think it's totally just spitballing here? I have no anything. Do you think they'll wait till out of state people can come? They'll get more media? No, I don't know. Again, just spitballing. Because no out-of-state bloggers, no out-of-state influencers, anybody can go.
I don't know. As someone that's gone to Disneyland a bunch, it still is supremely a locals park. Yeah. And so for me, for them to get Disneyland back, and then to, even if it's just they get a month straight of Avengers and the new Haunted Mansion and the new Snow White just to themselves, because they have to actually go and buy park tickets now. They can't use their SoCal annual passes. I'm actually totally fine with that, because it feels like it's almost one of those, we've seen them starting to do something. Teet says it's definitely capacity related, and I agree. I don't think it's the state restriction so much, but oh no.
It just started like, if I go out, it's not me, it's the weather.
Teets, get ready. You're going to have to finish this out with me.
So yeah, who knows? I mean, they know more than we do.
They know more than we do. I do think I would like to see it as open to only California residents for a little bit, because I think they deserve a little something special Disney before, all the rest of us come in and ruin it. I think my hair is still wet, but it's okay. So, and we also know that, but we do know that the new version of Snow White, so it's no longer Snow White's Scary Adventures, it's Snow White's Enchanted Wish, will be what riders experience when they go on the Snow White ride at Disneyland. I think
so. Is this a completely reimagined ride? Not having been on it,
I feel like It's a little bit more of a redo just to take away the scary end to it, because the end of the dark ride is just like at Walt Disney World, where you see like the queen is like trying to push a rock off the cliff and there's stuff and you think you're dying. So it just has more of like it's more of a happy story. Yeah. And I think it from all of the pictures they're showing, and I don't remember the ride that well, but from all the pictures they're showing, they do incorporate a lot of the stuff that we see from the ending tableau on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, of them all dancing and her and Dopey dancing and stuff like that. So nice. I think it's just taking away some of the scary parts and making it a little bit happier and, going in that direction. There's nothing. You still have Pinocchio and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride to contend with for the crazy stuff at Disneyland proper. Gotcha. So there's that. What else did we hear from California? That's pretty much.
Yeah. Talked about capacity, the ride updates. I think that's about it.
So
the surprise appearances along Main Street and Pixar Pier. They didn't specifically say cavalcades. So I'm guessing it's going to be more like we have Joy out on the by the Imagination Pavilion in Disney World, or what else? Who comes out like those places where they just pop out. Pinocchio on top of the Village House. Those places where they just pop out, as opposed to the cavalcades. Which I like having both.
Like Ray and Chewie and stuff on top of buildings, and the stormtroopers in Galaxy's Edge and all that. Did Rise ever open in Disneyland?
Good question. Because it did specifically mention Rise in the.
Because I feel
like it says like the new Star Wars Rise of the Resistance and Incredicoaster. I think it did. Yes. Okay. Yes, it did.
Yeah, because
but not for long.
January 2020. Okay. Yes, I was just making sure you were still there, Teets. Gosh.
Does he know that, or is he that fast on the Google machine? As my mom.
He had to consult his notes. So we're going to move off a little bit of Disney, away from Disney, to something that is more in the generic travel space. This week, we also heard a bunch of stuff relating to cruises. Now, cruises are not for everyone. My power just went out at my New Orleans house again, by the way. Thanks, Entergy. No. So, he has these things. Oh my gosh, you are not Rain. You are Disney. You are Disney Rain Man. Congratulations.
Change your handle now.
Yeah. So, Ryan Disney Rain Man. So we started to hear some stuff about cruising late last week and into this week, and including today. And obviously, of the people I talk to when I book travel, that's one of the things they're most interested about is, when is this going to happen? What are restrictions going to be? Are crew members going to have to be vaccinated? Are passengers going to have to be vaccinated? And we got the first big proof that most of the luxury lines on down are going to require passengers to show proof of vaccination. And Virgin Voyages just put it straight out there. So they're the new baby that was supposed to launch in June of last year for Richard Branson's birthday. And of course, that didn't happen because of COVID. So now they're about to enter the market with not one, but two, and a third ship right on its heels. This is adults only, and it's like party-based luxury cruising. There is no drink package. There's no gratuities. You just buy a bar tab in advance. It's very different. And for someone that cruises as an adult and without children, it's something that's very, very interesting to me. But they're the first ones that came out and said, yeah, our crew must be vaccinated to work on our ships, and for the safety of our crew, our passengers have to be vaccinated, and we will be requiring whatever the WHO and CDC guidelines for proof of vaccination are. And it wasn't long before the rumors started going around. Royal Caribbean Group and Norwegian kind of run in line with each other. And their luxury lines are Celebrity and Princess, respectively. And they've already said that crew will have to be vaccinated, and it is not hard pressed to expect the next thing is going to be they want passengers to be vaccinated. Now, this is going to be open-ended, and I know it's not going to apply to it's not going to apply for forever. It's also going to keep certain factions away, families with children where children are not eligible for a vaccine right now, different things like that. But also in the time of COVID, you've got to go through for me, I feel like you have to go through a bunch of trial and error on things. And this is the easiest way to do that while rolling out cruises and still keeping a limited capacity on that kind of thing. We got a big news from Royal Caribbean that they're finally moving one of their smaller ships, the Navigator of the Seas, over to run out of California, which is going to be crazy. They're basically doing a California West Coast wine stop 3 and 4 day loop, which sounds fantastic. And then a 7-day loop that goes down to like Cabo and all of that. So the cruise lines are starting to think about what their COVID life and COVID itineraries look, especially a lot of this to me right now, especially these West Coast California alternative routes, make me think that they're trying to do something with these smaller ships that usually go to Alaska, because I don't think I heard that.
Yeah. So I'm still here. I don't know how long I'll be here, but I'm still here.
Hang on.
Yeah, because we're not getting Alaska this year, right?
No, we're not getting Alaska this year. But I think they already said that. I don't think we get Alaska next year either, at least for the first part of the season, because Canada is so far behind where we are vaccine-wise. Yeah. And then also what they're going to want, I think, to see is for the port. So basically, for anyone that's never cruised Alaska before, my watch just told me to breathe hearing that. Yeah, I'm good. I'm still here. I just have a big window right above me, which is why I keep looking up. I was going to say,
it's all good.
He is bowling right above your bathroom, your skylight window right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think for everyone optimistic about Alaska, that is largely a multi-generational cruise. And it's something you see a lot of families do, especially on Disney and Royal Caribbean, and how Canada wants things to work. I just don't know that it's possible. And especially, like, I did a deep dive late last night about, could they go and stop somewhere else? Unless a cruise ship is flagged from the United States, right. If it's out of the country and travels a domestic route, it has to have a port stop where passengers can get off. And that's where, like, all of these Celebrity and Royal Caribbean Alaska cruises that go from Seattle and up to the Arm do like a 4-hour stop not even Vancouver, in Victoria.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's where we stopped.
Yeah. So you stop in Victoria for 4 hours, and that's essentially to give people an out to get off the ship, to do paperwork and get people back on. And, just given the way that Canada is really restricting travel and until whatever they want to see, I don't think that most cruise lines are going to bother with a waiver when they can just still move these smaller ships out and do Hawaii or West Coast of Mexico. But we'll see.
I mean, could we see the first Alaskan Russian cruise? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, obviously.
No, so it's crazy. So I saw someone that tried to make it work. It was a 17-day Alaska cruise.
Oh, God.
Starting and finishing in Seattle. That went Seattle like your normal cruise, and instead of your day at sea, it goes day at sea. Usually when you come out of the arm, and then you stop at Victoria, and the next day you're in Seattle. You did your day of sea to come out the arm, and then you had 7 more days to get to or 4 more days to get to Tokyo. And then 7 more days to get back to Seattle from Tokyo.
Ugh. Yeah,
I'm like, well, that's one way to do it. Why wouldn't they just go straight down to Mexico? You can go to Cabo.
Right.
You could do Seattle up into the arm and then do Cabo or Ensenada or something, and then San Diego, and then rerun it the other way back. I would be interested in a route like that, but that would have to still be like 10 days.
Yeah.
But again, so, it's exciting right now I predicted I didn't, Catalina wine mixer. I was in the middle of doing moving stuff today, and Teets was like, Royal Caribbean's going to the West Coast. I'm like, is it a closed loop 3 days out of Ensenada? And he's like, yeah. I go like, is it the Navigator of the Seas? And he's like, yep. I'm like, I'm good. I got this. So they say they're going to be able to start booking those routes in March, and tentatively there's a couple on the schedule for late fall, early winter this year, but it's mostly going to be spring, summer into early fall of 2022, which that's why I think either that ship turns into one that does Alaska, or it's just going to stay there and maybe do a couple weeks instead of Alaska and Hawaii, which would also be fun. We're supposed to have big announcements from Celebrity and Norwegian next week. I think Celebrity is going to follow the same Royal Caribbean line and put more ships in Hawaii and in the west coast of California on a bunch of different routes ranging from 3, 4, 7, and 10 days. Norwegian, that's a crapshoot. It could be anything. We know Norwegian has been trying to partner with Royal Caribbean that has multiple private islands to maybe do closed loops that are just their private islands and other cruise lines' private islands to do something like that. How crazy would that be? That would be a fun one.
That'd be fun to visit.
To visit.
Yeah.
If you could do Castaway Cay and Coco Cay and Great Stirrup Cay on a Norwegian cruise, or any of the other ones you go out of Port Canaveral, how fun would that be? I don't even want to imagine what the price tag would be for it, but it would name your line. It would sell out immediately. Yeah. So that's exciting. The only thing we have coming from Little Carnival is the new revamped Mardi Gras, which is going to be massive. It looks like they were playing there. Oh my gosh. Deep breaths. You're fine. Is it really windy or is it just super thunder?
No. It's just super thunder. I'm fine.
Okay.
No, there's not a tree out here. I can't see how windy it is. It's fine.
You're fine. It's fine. You have power. It can't be that windy.
We have power. We just have a big picture window in our living room downstairs. And during that hurricane that we had, it was literally pulsing. So I'm glad I'm not down there looking at it.
No, you're better here.
No. Talking Disney and cruises.
Yeah. So Mardi Gras is supposed to be cruising out of Port Canaveral. They said they were shooting for June. Little Birdie has told me August is more likely, just given how everything's going. And that would be a 7-day closed loop domestic. And it'll be one of the longest that could be offered. So that's exciting to hear that we're about to get plans. And if they're talking about vaccines and testing and different things, we're about to start.
That was you.
It's not even storming at my house.
What was that?
I don't know. I'm gonna go check.
Okay. So I don't know nearly as much about cruising as Keely does. I've been on a few myself. I've been on plenty of cruises myself, but she really keeps up to date on that. So I'm not even going to try to. I have no idea, Teets. I'm not even going to try to out cruise knowledge her. So we will just wait for her to come back to talk about that. But I don't know if anybody saw who's watching. Obviously, we know that Disneyland made the announcement about their reopening. I think Teets texted me when I was on lunch duty today. But Josh Damaro posted a really cute picture on his Instagram. If you follow him on Instagram, it says "See ya real." He superimpose that onto the picture, and then it's him wearing some Mickey ears that just say "soon" in front of the castle in Disneyland. It's really cute. You should go follow him on Instagram if you don't already. So I know that everyone out there is really excited to get back to Disneyland. Is everything okay?
I was told it just fell down when they came down the stairs.
What was it?
We have just a little bit of, it's the inner pans and racks and little drip pan that go for the smoker that we're moving. They're in here and they were sitting on top of my microwave. So they're all clean and good. And so the whole smoker won't be messy. And so that's what it was. And they fell off the microwave and onto the floor.
They just fell.
They just fell.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway,
Josh. You're talking about Josh tomorrow.
His Instagram picture was really cute today. To see you real soon.
I told you I'm not going on Instagram because it makes me just hungry.
I know. But that was me just trying to fill time before you came back and we started our rant.
All right. So to close it out, I think we're going to do a couple of different topics of travel real talk. So I think it's interesting. There are a couple of things that people might have questions about. I know I am interested in one of these topics, probably the one we're going to start with first. So Courtney is about to take her first flight. Since the pandemic. So how are you feeling about that?
I'm fine. I really enjoy flying. Really, really enjoy flying. I always have. Before having kids, I would fall asleep right away on a flight, so it was always a really great nap. But I don't know. I'm not nervous. My husband's vaccinated. I'll be fully vaccinated by the time we get on the flight. I get my last shot next week. And so, no, we're going to visit my brother and my sister-in-law. They're both vaccinated. I don't know. I'm also I've always been one to take calculated risks. Again, we're vaccinated, so I think the risk is very, very, very small for us right now. But I'm not nervous. I trust the vaccine. I trust the science. I'm excited. And I'm not nervous.
Yeah. And it was, so I have flown 3 times during COVID. This in April will be my 4th. And it was, the first time was scary. The second time I was better prepared. The third time it was more of keeping Mr. Worldwide not from being nervous because he's already a nervous flyer to begin with. And then to also do it during the pandemic. And, he's like, yeah, it's quite possible that you already had it and antibodies. He goes, but I've never had it. And I've always tested negative for antibodies. And I've never had, any of this. So he was always panicked about that. So he was the guy with the KN95 and the face shield which was really funny because it made his little face all nice and warm and cozy, and he would immediately like fall asleep. And I'd be like, "What do you do when it's all like steamed up? Because he's all like happy and warm and sleeping underneath there." I'm like, "Do I reach under there and like wipe the steam off of?" It's like it needs a interior windshield wiper. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I feel like one of the safest places to be is on an airplane, just because of the precautions they've taken to the recirculating and cleansing the air. And, we all have handy wipes. Yeah. Just wipe down. They already spray planes down, but just wipe the little thing to open up the tray table and your seat arms and your back, and you're fine. Again, wear a mask, wash your hands. We won't.
But like I said before I went to Disney World, I think in addition to me just like, again, being someone who would take a calculated risk, I am a teacher. And so I'm around people all day. So it's not like I have been holed up in my house. Ryan licks the tray clean. That's probably what my daughter will do because, she's 8 months old. And that's what she does.
She can get the antibodies that way.
So I don't know. I think that has something to do with my willingness, like openness, being okay with all of this travel. Because I've been around people the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've been in in-person school for a while.
Since August, all year. Yep.
That's insane.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And we haven't had outbreaks. Like we've followed the recommendations. We've stayed 6 feet apart. All the girls have to wear masks and everything's sanitized. Like we follow the recommendations and there's been no spread at school. So you do you follow the science and what they say is going to happens. And the students we've had contract the virus have gotten it from outside sources. So there's been no spread at our school.
Well, so that's why, at the Crescent Lake Club, almost all of our members are CLIA agents, or they're CLIA approved agents. We all will be vaccinated. And we've started to, we've had cruise lines who have reached out to us for opportunities to do cruises to nowhere, to test protocols and report on protocols, especially for some of us that live in port cities. So
sign me up.
Right?
Sign me up.
That's also one of the things that I'm really, really interested to see and hear more about. So I've been following that a lot more closely now that they've reached out about our group. Because we all are into cruising. We all like cruising.
Yeah.
So, and I think we're in a weird demographic for cruising because we're all younger and cruising tends to skew a little bit older.
I know, but put me in a piano bar. Just a little bit.
That's why Captain's Sing-Along Brunch is going to be perfect.
I know.
For everyone except for Angela and Keats.
Whatever.
No, whatever. Have you thought about what your outfit is going to be yet?
For Monday or for the sing-along?
For Monday.
No, I have not. I promise I'll have it when we come back from our spring break.
No, it's good. The suspense is killing me.
Yes. No, I just have a lot of brain energy.
So flying, if you have concerns, think about how those concerns relate to going to, say, a restaurant. I'll just drink a lot. Well, you're going to drink a lot anyway.
Okay, you and everyone else.
Teats. So, what do I say as someone that has flown multiple times during the COVID before being vaccinated? Think about your concerns, and are they the same concerns? And are you going to sit in a restaurant indoors with your mask off for 90 minutes, 2 hours while you're eating? Or are you going to get on a plane that has different filters and circulated cleansed air while you wear a mask? And I think that what wins will be clear. And I know the CDC isn't being really forthright with what they're saying. If they're saying that people that are vaccinated can be inside a room without masks on, they need to be a little bit more transparent about travel other than just don't do it.
Right.
You can travel. You just have to be careful about it.
Right. Like everything in life.
Like everything
you just have
in
to
life.
be careful. Like, that's what I'm saying. Calculated risk. Like, I risk my life when I get in my car. I risk my life when I walk outside my house. I risk my life when I get on an airplane, whether it's COVID or not.
I risk my life
I know how to stay
out of bed in the morning.
Right. Walking down the stairs. I know how to keep myself safe in all of those situations. I've learned how to keep myself safe during this pandemic. And
she's risking her life streaming underneath a skylight in this
during a thunderstorm.
Terrible storm that everyone's afraid of a tornado. So
I know. Yeah.
So anyway, the next thing
first rant over.
First rant. Next up is, how are you feeling about some of these theme park crowd levels right now? And we haven't even hit peak spring break or Easter yet.
As a travel agent with families traveling in the next few weeks, it's frustrating. As someone traveling during this peak season, I am thankful that this is not my first and only time going to Disney World this year. That if I feel like waiting for something, I can just not do it. Because these crowds are kind of crazy. And yes, there's a lot of people in the park, but especially after my being there at Mardi Gras and how the queues are set up, it just feels like it's so much longer than it is. Like I said, when I came back after February, when Peter Pan's Flight queues all the way through the ride and then all the way through Columbia Harbor House and outside of it, even though the wait itself was the shortest I've ever waited in the standby line for Peter Pan's Flight, just the mental game of like walking through that whole thing makes it feel really long, really long.
Yeah. And it's like, so when we went in November, and this is when I should have had Teets like pop in and tell us what January. Well, you guys kind of overlapped. He was there in January, but when we went in November, it was pretty easy to tell that using like the Lines app from Touring Plans, what it was going to be. It was essentially half to a third of the posted time. But then now when you start seeing these zigzag outside queues that weren't there when we were there in November, that's like the telltale giveaway that there is just okay, that was a wind here. The capacity is way up. It's more than 35%. It's probably more than 40%. I feel like we're at 50, regardless of what.
And posted wait times, actual waits were still in every instance, I think except for one ride, I don't remember. I think Navi River Journey. The wait was shorter than the posted wait time, but still, like, you're still walking through a long line, and it's still, you feel the crowds because they're all around you in the queue.
Well, and then adding all the plexi barriers everywhere too, it just makes it what used to be feel like, I understand why they're there, but oh my gosh, it makes it hotter and even more claustrophobic.
Right.
Even if you're spaced out.
Right.
I saw today a picture, and let me see if I should have saved it on my Twitter, but what the on-ride, also they need to turn some of these on-ride photos off. The on-ride photo for Frozen is worthless.
Horrific.
Because of the plexiglass barriers.
Yes.
And I know why they're doing it, and I appreciate that, but it's just...
Side note, I don't think I have ever gotten my picture from any time I've ridden on Frozen. I don't know why. My Disney experience does not like that ride. But while you're looking for that picture, I will also continue my rant on dining and how there's just no dining availability. And it's hard. And like people keep asking, what about the dining plan? I'm like, No, I wouldn't sell anyone the dining plan right now. I wouldn't suggest that to anyone.
You can't buy it anyway.
I know you can't, but people ask, like, can I get it? No, you can't get it. When is it coming back? I don't know. But not until they open up a lot more dining. Because there's nothing available. And the quick service is, you got to think ahead. I said that in my review when I came back in February. You got to think ahead and you got to plan ahead. And during these next month or so, during spring break and Easter, you have to order your meal an hour ahead of time, I'm thinking.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm lucky for us, the day that we do, we're doing Saturday Wine Bar George brunch is our first meal all together as the Crescent. I'm so excited. Wine Bar George brunch is our first chance for the entire Crescent Lake Club to break bread together. It's going to be great. And then we're going to go straight to Epcot, where we're just going to eat and drink around the World Showcase. And Teets and I started our checklist the other day on stream. So we've highlighted some of the things that we want to go and try between the whole group. And I was thinking about I need to start just scheduling more ADRs, even if they're terrible places for us to sit down.
There's nothing.
But there's nothing. It's like, because we're doing the next day is Magic Kingdom, and I've tried Plaza, but we're doing Captain Sing Along brunch. We can go into Magic Kingdom and just see what it's like, and then bounce straight out to the monorail and cruise all those places. And
but I mean, how many people are they seating in the Plaza? Because that place is tiny to begin with, and if there's space and tables out, I mean, how many tables were in there before? 10?
Yeah. So I
love the Plaza. I think it's a hidden gem. I love the Plaza.
I have one still in my stock account for 6, and the whole plan was just to get a bottle of champagne and those cheese fries. So, but then I was like, well, we're doing Captain Squirrel brunch, so we won't need to eat. We can probably mobile order some trash or something. I don't even know. Yeah. Oh no, we're just gonna go to Buzz Lightyear and make Teets ride Buzz Lightyear blindfolded, so I can beat him.
And Whitty can get the high score again.
Yes, and then get her jalapeno cream cheese pretzel from Launching Pad.
Yeah.
So is there one place in particular you wish would open, or is it just I want everywhere to reopen?
I want everything open. No. Is there anything in particular I want to open? I really want, and this is the mom in me, but I would love to see the more character meals come back. Crystal Palace is open. Why don't you have characters there? You're paying an arm and a leg to eat decent, not even decent. You're paying an arm and a leg to eat food at a sit-down restaurant.
Oh, that menu is pretty terrible.
Big. Yeah, no thanks. Why aren't you putting the characters in there? You know how to do it safely. You do it at other places. I'm assuming some of the tables are taken out. Topolino's is big and wide, so I can see, and the characters already did their party dance around there pre-COVID. Adorable. One of the best character meals on property, in my opinion.
I think Teets may agree with you there too, because he's done brunch and maybe dinner there. I don't know, but he loved the brunch there.
It's good. Yeah, I love it.
Even though he got his steak well done.
Even I don't do well done. And I like my.
Why would you do yours well done? You're like a medium rare to medium or medium to medium well.
I do medium well. Yeah. So yeah, I wish that they would add the characters back at Crystal Palace. I don't know, just see some of that come back. I think that's the biggest. And in Animal Kingdom, we don't have anything, right? There's no character interaction anywhere around Animal Kingdom. And Tusker House was amazing. Also another, I think, underrated dining location in Walt Disney World.
Because it has a lot of the same like Boma menu, but also with characters.
So here's as mom, this is why I love Tusker House. Because you can get your Mickey waffles and you can get your scrambled eggs and you can also get other flavors that you don't have elsewhere. So like my son is a very adventurous eater and he would try anything. He won't necessarily continue to eat anything, but he will try whatever we put on his plate. And we'd go with friends who are like, no, my kids are going to eat half a Mickey waffle and 3 grapes and that's all they're going to eat, and pay the $54. It's tight, small room, so I get that one. Yeah, but again, I get it. But she asked what I want to see open, and that's what I want to see open.
Yeah.
But that's the same for lunch and dinner. I've eaten all the meals at Tusker House. You can get your chicken nuggets and mac and cheese, and then you can also get like the salmon and the other, I don't know, African flavors that I don't cook at home, and expose my son to that. And it's a buffet, so he can try it. And if he doesn't like it, I haven't spent $28 on a plate of salmon that he's not going to eat. I can go get him some chicken nuggets.
Has he had crawfish yet this season?
No, that's next weekend. He's had crawfish in his life before, but that's next weekend.
Yeah, no, but I wasn't sure if he's had crawfish yet this crawfish season. What about, has he had oysters yet this season?
I don't think so. He ate a raw oyster when he was like 2 years old.
That's amazing to me.
We had sushi a few weeks ago.
Teets won't even eat an oyster and he's 22 years old. So
I don't eat raw oysters. I eat them char-grilled, but I don't eat raw oysters.
See, I think Teets are like char-grilled.
Do you like butter and garlic?
Yeah. It's great.
So those are the things that I would like to see. And also some more shows, but we already know that Lion King's coming back. So
we do, and I think Lion King is going to be the precursor for everything because even though it's a kind of an indoor space, it's still an amphitheater. So, which begs the question why they didn't just bring Beauty and the Beast back in general. Yeah.
But like even Nemo, that theater's huge. Like everything else is reduced capacity. I guess the Everest queue and that queue would merge into one, but I don't know. Yeah. But then you have the Safari queue going through Lion King. So what are they going to do there? Like, to me, does that mean they have a plan to shorten the social distancing? Because, right? Yeah, the queue, is it for Safari? Yeah, the queue for Safari goes into the Lion King theater.
Well, so and even sometimes when like Flight of Passage gets at long, it goes up that way too.
Yeah, when we were there, there was like cast members standing right there, like Flight of Passage this way, Safari this way, and you could not cross the line. So, I don't know.
I don't.
Again, they know more than we do. They have a plan.
Yeah. I can see what they're I think I can see what they're trying to do. I just wish they'd be a little bit more transparent on where they're getting this 35% from. I have an idea because I was at Vegas at Christmas and I know how they were getting around the numbers. But then again, it's not like Florida's restricting them from doing anything either. Right. Florida is wide open. So, they're playing by whatever percentage rules they want to play by, whatever numbers they can fudge that Reedy Creek will let them get away with. And that's fine.
Do you think they'll open capacity when,
So T says, I believe the assumption is capacity will have increased by that point and social distancing will be more relaxed. So we're hearing
the vaccination guidelines in Florida? Because I saw something about the unions wanting cast members.
Would you like to know? Bumped up. Would you like to know what I've done for? In addition to moving, my mother, who gets way past her bedtime, she is not watching this stream. I don't think she may listen later. Asked me to help her get a vaccine in Florida. She did not want a 2-shot vaccine. She wanted the Johnson & Johnson because she just wants one and done. And so apparently the only place I could find it for her even though she could have been vaccinated on Sunday with her first Pfizer, and God knows by the time she could get this Johnson & Johnson appointment, probably have her second Pfizer. The only place that offers Johnson & Johnson on a scheduled basis, and she is not yet 65. So they just opened it up to teachers and 60 to 65 at only 2 counties, Osceola and not Orange, but Osceola and maybe Lake, recognize theme park workers as essential workers. So Osceola is basically Kissimmee. So anytime you just go right past Disney, that is Osceola County. If you go to the left of Disney Springs, that's Orange County. So lots of places in Osceola will turn, as long as you show your Disney card, they'll let you get a vaccine. But I will tell you to try and get this Johnson & Johnson via Publix today. Florida is going to stay at its same percentage of vaccinations for forever, because the people who got in there got it. They took whatever one they could get and then just started trying to swap it out to move closer and closer to where they were. And it finally, after an hour, I was like, well, I've got her booked in Pensacola, which is 6 hours away from.
I'm closer to Pensacola.
Right? I'm like, Pensacola actually works for me, but
yeah.
And then so I texted her, I'm like, yeah, I hope you got something. This is what I've got. And she's like, oh no, I got Winter Garden, and I picked there because it's also farmer's market that day, and I get crab cakes and vegetables. So I'll just go and I'll get my shot and I'll get crab cakes and I'll go home and just hang out. I'm like, so let me tell you that all I know is Louisiana, how that vaccine process is working. I kind of know how Texas is, and it's about as much as a mess as Florida. But if you're a cast member that is watching, CVS and Walmart in Osceola County, especially the ones in Kissimmee and St. Cloud, will take your blue card and consider you an essential worker to get a vaccine. It probably will be Moderna, is what everything that I saw. It's a shame that, but it goes back to the state. It's not just the counties. It goes back to the state not prioritizing anything. I mean, he opened everything up. So I don't think it's political. I do think what Teet says is, I believe the assumption is capacity will increase by that point and social distancing will be more relaxed. They're already talking about doing 3 feet apart in schools. That's different because you're sitting in a chair in your own little space, and you will still be masked. You're static. And we hope that schools have great ventilation. It's not the same as like wandering around a theme park or so. When this will be, and then we'll get to the last question if you want to do the last question. When would you feel super comfortable going into a restaurant at 100% capacity to eat with your mask off? Being vaccinated.
Yeah, being vaccinated, I'm fine. Like, this, again, the science is telling, All
right.
I'm fine. I'm comfortable. But I know that others aren't, and that's me. I know I'm not in any risk category that I'm aware of. I'll be vaccinated. I'm still going to follow whatever mandate of whatever city, county, state, whatever that I'm in. And I'm not going to stop wearing my mask because, well, first of all, we're still in a mandate, and I have to wear it at school. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I look forward to the day that I don't have to wear a mask again. Like this summer when it's going to be 1,000 degrees, if I don't have to wear a mask this summer, I'll be pretty happy.
But I think for me, like personally, in the fall, I'll still get my flu vaccine, and I'll probably wear a light mask on a plane going forward, just because.
Yeah, they have proven to be. I mean, the flu
was like non-existent, or just even common cold was non-existent this year.
Right. So yeah, there is efficacy for other, for coronavirus and other things. But, I'm thinking, I don't know, it's not that there's outdoor festivals here, but like Oktoberfest in New Orleans. In theory, by October, we should be good. Like I should be able to go to Oktoberfest and not have to wear a mask, right? Right? I'm hoping, even though that's in the fall, but that's a long ways away.
I know. We should be able to go to Jazz Fest.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but I would feel comfortable. So
that was just a question. That was just a question that came up in my household because I'm with you, but Mr. Worldwide is like, I don't know that I'm ready to go in and when I'm fully vaccinated, sit inside with a mask off with 75% capacity. I'm like, you just got to kind of pull the Band-Aid off.
And I guess I just don't get it. Like, I don't, whatever, like at what point then? I guess that's what I would say. Like, at what point then? If you're vaccinated and these vaccines have very high efficacy, at what point are you comfortable? And it's your own opinion. Like and he's entitled to that. And people who aren't comfortable are entitled to that opinion and that feeling. And no one's forcing anyone to go into a restaurant without a mask on.
Yeah, you can still do it.
So yeah, you can wear a mask as long as you want. I just look forward to the day that I don't have to.
Same. So our last, and this is going to be Courtney's real big rant. Oh my gosh, we should do this final segment every week is Courtney's real big rant.
No, I'm not an angry person. I'm just tired.
So this one is, and I'll have an anecdote to throw into this one too. I talked about it a little bit with Teets on Sunday, but I'll throw it in after I can start off with it. But it's the park reservation system on the unset seems like a great idea. I
sure does.
Felt at the beginning Disney was doing a great job. If you wanted to go, you could get in. But so what happens when park reservations don't work? Like we are currently facing with a couple of clients going in April. And it's very frustrating because Disney is out doing a whole bunch of promo videos. Come stay with us. Come do this. And it's Courtney's conundrum. We've got Teets' take and Courtney's conundrum. I love it. Disney's out here promoting, come stay on site and go to parks and do all these things. But in the highest resort occupancy of the year, those that are paying to stay on site can't get into parks. Yet annual pass holders, it's only 2 tiers. We researched into this. Platinum and Platinum Plus have complete availability to go to the parks during spring break and Easter. So, what's your take on that?
I mean, I'm incredibly frustrated. Frustrated that annual pass holders still have, speaking as an annual pass holder, that they still have availability, that hasn't been shifted around. And the fact that every single time that I've checked this website, the Pass Park Availability Calendar, no fewer than 10 times a day for the past week and a half or so, ticket holders, so like day ticket holders, and those staying on site at Disney, the availability calendar has been exactly the same. Now, Disney has taken away extra magic hours. They are at the end of the year taking away Magical Express. There's no dining plan. So many of the benefits to staying on property aren't there anymore. So why then are they not providing more availability for the people who are paying $200, $300, $400, $1,000 a night to stay in one of their resorts? Why are they not getting better access, priority access, guaranteed access to the parks? You still have availability to book hotels this week, next, Easter week, But like, why would anyone book that unless they have an annual pass? You're not attracting anyone to stay there because they can't get into a park. So I'm just, and I'm frustrated from some of my clients. They have the largest bucket already, okay, but it's still not big enough. I don't know. I feel like they shouldn't. I don't know. I shouldn't say what they should or shouldn't do, but it's frustrating with the blackout availability. He's saying with the blackouts, the availability does make sense, but they should also shift it. Yeah, Keely and I were talking about that before we went on air. What's available for annual pass holders makes sense given who is blocked out.
And so this is an uncharacteristic time of the year for golds to be blocked out. And it's for me, I'm a silver. I should have expected it, but it's been a long time since I've ever thought about coming at this time of year. It should be expected to me. This is the first time, and I think the first time I noticed, or I told Teets, who's a gold, and it was a surprise that he was blacked out, because usually golds only have like 4th of July and Christmas are blocked out for golds. And because those also are the annual passes offered to DVC holders. So now you've blocked out all your DVC annual pass holders that have booked their DVC rooms for this time period, but golds can't go to the parks.
Yeah.
I'm not real thrilled with it.
Yeah.
The other thing, and I touched on it with Teets on Sunday, was Angela and Teets are the only ones Teets now is the only one that doesn't have a park reservation for the 50th celebration. For Angela, she never opted into that free extension that they gave you. When you kept paying into your annual pass and didn't restart it or didn't stop it or anything else. They just gave you some extra months. She's like, I never opted into it. I never asked for the extension. She goes, so why? I can't make park reservations for October because it says I don't have valid credentials. And up until this point, she couldn't renew her annual pass until like April or May. Well, by then, there's no chance. There's no chance she's getting October 1st. And so that's the other thing. It's so you allow annual pass holders to have this big bucket of park passes, park reservations that's open to them. But also you super follow by the drop-off rule. Like, you don't know that people just keep, especially the ones that pay on the monthly plan, they're just going to keep rolling the annual pass. So that stinks too. It's just not understanding how to use the data from annual pass holders and visits and different things. And it's ruining everything. I know why they tried to do. I know why they tried to do the buckets of everything. They should just put it all together. Especially when if you're paying if you're paying a resort, you should
have guaranteed access, right? Is that crazy to think that if you're paying the premium to stay on Disney property, when all of the not all, most of the other benefits for staying on property don't exist anymore? That's an easy give. It doesn't cost them anything to guarantee on-site guests admission to their parks.
I see what they're doing with the just day ticket only, because they're going for that low-hanging fruit of someone that's dumb enough to pay $149 straight up to get into the park for one day. I do think the number one priority should be resort guests, but I think I've said about 100 times. I will not be surprised to see Teets thinks that by October capacity should be basically 100%. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for like New Year's Eve at Magic Kingdom capacity in October. I think 75% for 50th anniversary is beyond fair. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. Just the thought of being with New Year's Eve Magic Kingdom crowd for October 1st just like made my heart stop for a second.
I don't know.
That's a lot of people.
75% is still a ton of people too.
It's still less than 100. Yeah, I've done Epcot for New Year's Eve, which is way more people than Magic Kingdom holds, and it's a lot of people. But I think the one I wouldn't be surprised to see if when we get back to normal operations, if the exchange perk is FastPass Plus is only available to resort guests.
Yeah.
Because how do you, like, you can give annual passes one a day in the park that they have a reservation for. How do you give resort guests an advantage in the playing field? Well, you give them 3, or they do something like Max Pass where they can actually make more on their phone, whereas, or annual passes can get Max Pass too, but you have to do something to level the playing field and make it fair, because it looks like Disney's not at all interested in changing their rates. In fact, they're just going through the roof.
I don't know. So I don't know. I would not suggest anyone booking anything in the next month. I mean, I think I don't know.
Unless you already have park passes right now.
Unless you already have park passes. But even still, be prepared to wait about Pirates of the Caribbean to get into your line for Peter Pan's flight. Be prepared for the queue to start all the way back there at Pirates of the Caribbean for Peter Pan's flight. Or into the castle, however they choose to wrap it.
I'm trying to do the math on how it goes all the way, because it's got to go past Jungle Cruise. Where's the Jungle Cruise line going to go? It's just going to be a big cluster of lines in the hub.
I was literally just thinking, like, what's on the opposite side of the park? Yeah, that's difficult to navigate too.
It's frustrating. It takes the fun out of it. It takes the experience out of it.
Yeah,
that's why we're only doing Epcot.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go into Magic Kingdom. People
in Hollywood on Monday.
Oh, we're doing Hollywood too.
Yeah.
We're doing Hollywood too. Hollywood will be easy. We'll get there early. I'll get us Rise of the Resistance. Because does it fail? We'll do Runaway Railway. We'll make Teets go wait in line for us for Slinky Dog. So after we get off Runaway Railway, we can all go do Slinky Dog together.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. We'll talk about that more in 2 weeks when we're all back together for a Sunday Funday on Crescent Lake Club Live. So I think we covered a lot of stuff tonight.
We did. You can go to Animal Kingdom. You can go. Say hi.
He might go. No, because he leaves at like 6 a.m. on Tuesday, so he can't even go. He may go on Monday after we leave Hollywood Studios. No, because Animal Kingdom will probably close at 5. Have you looked at the park hours that week?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does.
It's just like I said, like Captain Cruise Line said a couple weeks ago, was there's one theme park resort in Orlando that's like, come on, we've got stuff going on. We'll still figure it out how to space you and keep you safe. And the other one was like, give us money, but yeah, we don't really want you here unless you're just giving us money. And that's what it's starting to feel like. Kind of stinks.
But am I really excited to give them my money in 22 days still? Yes.
So many fun things.
This is a problem.
I know. We have so many fun things planned. So many fun things planned. So yeah, so this is going to be it for us for about 10 days. We'll be back, everyone together. We're going to do one last planning stream, go through everything, maybe talk about packing, maybe talk about plane flights. I don't know. Maybe we'll have our flower and garden list all done. I'm pretty sure at least one of us from the Crescent Lake Club has already started packing. It's not me, but I know at least one person already has.
It's not me.
It's not Courtney, but it may be someone else that has a similar travel experience. But thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed our travel rants. I hope you've enjoyed the different versions of weather, the real weather to the fake weather at my house. So we just wanted to keep up.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check out our website, crescentlakeclub.com. We have a really great blog. Ryan runs that. It's got all sorts of news and information. We are going to start having a portal where you can meet all of us and start looking at what travel offers we are offering, because at the end of the day, we also are travel agents and we're willing to help you and happy to help you in any way, especially now that STEMI hit. You may have got your first jab, counting down to the second jab. The rest of the year is opening up. So I think
don't you want a travel agent who gets so passionate about your own vacation, like it's her own, like me?
Like who stresses out, loses sleep because
loses sleep over someone else's vacation? Yeah, that's me.
That's that one.
Literally, I was up from 2:30 to 3:30 the other night stressing about this.
Don't stress. We'll figure it.
You're
doing the best. You're doing the best. You're doing the best. We're doing the best with what they hand us. So again, if you're watching us on Twitter or on Twitch, hit the purple follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the red subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notifications when we go live with all this great content. We will see you again in about 10 days for a Sunday Fun Day with the Crescent Lake Club. But don't forget to check out our website again. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and we love talking with all of y'all. Send us your travel pictures. Tell us what you're doing. If you're doing anything with your STEMI money for travel, we want to hear about it. But for now, thanks, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you in 10 days.